sources are revealing to News 18 that Hindu leaders and religious leaders are on the Jaish E Mohammed's radar. Intel sources reveal that the recent infiltration at the line of control suggests that JAM cadres or Jaish cadres were sent to attack Hindu seers. The source reveals that they want to eliminate some Hindu leader and seers who are constantly speaking against terrorism and to ensure that they are quietened or they are not, their voices are silenced. Now, the Jaish is actively engaged in reviving their terror network pan-India through their sleeper cells or old contacts. The source reveals that numerous modules busted by intelligence agencies and NIA indicate the same, and they are moving beyond Jammu and Kashmir into even areas like Uttar Pradesh and thereafter into other parts of the country. Now, quickly, Pathikrit Payan, this is also another aspect. So there are multiple tentacles of this terror hydra, fundamentalism hydra, and some of it go back to the enemy. Because even in the Bangalore ISIS model, we realized that Junaid from Baku was in touch with an ISI handler. Jaish, on the other hand, are sending killers and shooters with specific targets in the hinterland, in the mainland. Go and target those people who are speaking against terrorism. Or perhaps somewhere who are on ground working on Hindu revivalism.
So, Anand, terrorism and dimensions of terrorism were always expected to reform and keep on evolving as like a hydra-headed creature. But the problem is that whether our law and order mechanism is keeping the same pace when it comes to doing that. The law and order mechanism of this country is still of a 20th century or the 19th century. We still don't understand various dimensions of radicalism. The policeman on ground is so much engaged with day-to-day VVIP security and other things that thinking about the long term and the deeper aspects of what radicalism is and how to deal with it, we are just going by, arresting somebody, forgetting that there is a deeper nexus that has to be curtailed, which the central government is doing its best, but you need a radical overhaul of the internal security architecture. Unless you do that, it's just we are just going, doing the catching up game.
Well,
I think unfortunately,
like I always say, Pathikrit, that the security establishment has to get it right 10 on 10 times. The terrorists need to get it right only once out of 10 times. Nirmal Kaurji, quick word from you. Is this a worrying trend, or are our agencies aware of this and wise enough to be able to counter this?
They are aware, but the quantum, the work is so large. I mean, being aware is not enough. And I think police alone cannot do much about it. At a social level, we lack this kind of awareness, the movement at a social level. Like, even in that gaming where the child was being converted to a game, that kind of trend is so common. Media played out that Ghaziabad story for 1 or 2 days, and then the nation has forgotten it. We as parents, we as social beings, as neighbors, as aunties, as uncles, as teachers, none of us are involved in the character building of our children or our youth. And unless it is played out at a social level where every citizen is concerned about national security.
Ma'am, I've got to wind up.
To abdicate it to police, a handful of policemen.
Ma'am, I've run out of time.
So overworked, so